Afternoon guys, just thought I'd do an update. I haven't done one for a while. Since the house stuff's gone through, I know a lot of people are talking about legal fees at about 1,500, 1,800 for lawyers on properties in Spain. If you email me directly, I'll give you Ginta, and you'll save at least €1,000. She dealt with our legal stuff. She went to all the meetings with the gestors and the notaries, all that sort of stuff. She also dealt with the bills, checking there was no issues with the property. Because like the one we were looking at before we bought this one, obviously there was a issue around the ownership, which looks like what it comes down to. I think that property was part of a property developer's portfolio, and they were going bankrupt, so they were trying to sell them on without the sort of bank knowing. But anyway, glad we didn't get to that issue where we'd had a purchase and had a problem with the bank. So where we are now is the windows are going in, as you probably seen on the last video. I think that's going to probably take the next week or so, because Igor's doing this between these other bits and pieces. Front door is already in the factory, ready to go. Then we'll be starting on the kitchen. So I was hoping to be in the next, say, 4 weeks, but I think it's still going to be an ongoing process for about another 8. But I've been looking at doing a bit more, so I'm looking at the conservatory piece at the minute. Bizarrely, typical what we get often in Spain. I sent somebody an inquiry, told me exactly what I wanted, and they went, yeah, we can do it, and then no responses. And I can guarantee once I've built it and put it in there, they will then suddenly email me going, yeah, we can do it this week. They do it to me all the time. They really do. They wait until I've actually done it and then go, oh yeah, you asked us 2 months ago about something. It's like, yeah, that's when I wanted it. So I'm just waiting for that. But we're getting to probably talking less than €300. I mean, I gave her I actually gave her an extra 100 because she saved me over €1,000. So I'm not happy to give her some extra cash for sorting everything out. She also dealt with changing the electric over and to another company with lower tariffs, and also I think she dealt with the water company as well. I'm not sure. She definitely changed all the bills over anyway. Sorted all that headache out. Went to all the appointments, set everything up, made it a very, very smooth transition, and keeps us updated on WhatsApp. So every time something happened, she would update us. And the good thing is we got the bank talking to Ginta and the sellers of the property, so everything was very well coordinated. So that went well. And I mean, I do get real estate agents saying they don't earn 6,000 plus on properties, but funny enough, my property, they did earn more than €6,000. And oddly enough, everybody I speak to selling properties, they all seem to be around those sort of figures. So that's why, I mean, if you wanted to sell it directly, it's probably easier because all the risks on the buyer anyway. But I think half the battle is that the marketing's very, very poor, because a lot of the time, if it's an older property, it's not getting the same marketing as a new €700,000 property. But there are buyers out there, and might be something we'll set a Facebook group up on that stuff if anybody else is interested. Because myself, now we've got this one, finished the renovation, I've got to rest a bit and start on the next one. Another thing, just out of interest, is I'm going to start smoothies as a full diet. I'm going for a liquid diet for the next month. Found a company, which I'll do a separate video on that, but I've got this little, is it Breville? I think it is Breville. It's a blender. I know it got an extra bottle for it, but it's just like fresh smoothies. I know a lot of them have too much sugar and whatever, but these are fresh, frozen. They're already chopped up. It's not powdered. It's not a pre-manufactured liquid. It's basically frozen smoothies with other stuff in it, like cucumbers and other bits, not all the sugary stuff. So they're due to arrive probably when I get near the end of the video. The phone or the doorbell will ring. So I'm trying that, but I'll do a separate video on that because I do think they're pretty good. To be fair, with the weather the way it is at the minute, quite happy with a liquid diet anyway. Nice ice cold liquid diet. I'm looking to get back to Spain in September as well. We're right in the busiest period of my work, my day-to-day stuff, so we're flat out, but September is invoicing time, so I can go out to Spain and sit and just do paperwork, so that will flow on from there. So there'll be more updates coming for September. Hopefully by that time we've moved in the house as well, rather than just doing construction after construction project. I am looking at the solar water heater system as well. I think that's going to cost me about maybe €2,500, but it's the biggest electric cost that we have, beyond air conditioning obviously. So we'll update as that occurs. Like I said, we've got the window piece going on. At the moment, this week, they're busy chopping away to make the sills and everything level for the marble. So it's not too exciting with people doing that all day. And obviously, seeing the last videos, they put some of the windows in. So we'll follow on from that once we get there. What else is there? Yeah, the COVID stuff's a bit interesting, isn't it? Because, I've had my first vaccine. Like I said, I'm not anti-vax. It's just I didn't see the point of getting it. It's a bizarre state of affairs, but this all sort of seems to happen in I think it's the mid to late 50s, when everything become very for or against. If you're not with us, you're against us type thing, and that's what this is. There is no debate ability in there. So same, I was just looking at the website for the NHS one, for the NHS passports. The passports we weren't going to have. But there's a bizarre bit in there. If you look down the list, if you've had COVID and have natural immunity, you can still get the passport. So I'm sort of thinking, I don't understand what's going on here. Aren't we forcing everybody to have this vaccine? Because what it's saying is if you're being tested positive and you're sort of immune, it's alright. But at the same time, it doesn't prevent you getting COVID, even if you're vaccinated. So, yeah, I know the effects can be less, but then that should be more of your choice, in my personal opinion. Because obviously there's still fleecing us for the PCR test when we travel. But it's like my wife was asking me about it today, about the rules and stuff. That's how I ended up looking at the stuff. I literally don't follow the news at all. I know a lot of people have stopped listening to it as well, because everything's COVID. The Brexit stuff's very quiet, but even that, they're still talking about the Northern Ireland piece being rejigged and looked at again. But I'm not even sure what they signed up to, because they could be locked into a contract where it's reviewed in 10 years' time. I have no idea, but we still seem to be where we were 4 years ago on that stuff. It just seemed to be in a worse situation, if anything. Because at least if we were locked into the EU at the time, we could have still commuted. I know it's a little bit of a selfish approach on that, but it's true. But you look at the stuff I'm dealing with at work, there's shortages on cement, there's shortages on steel, there's shortages on timber, pretty much everything. I'm about to order a lift that comes from Germany, and Germany has shutdown periods like France and Spain and Italy. They have they shut the whole factories down. But there is stuff that is an issue to get through the ports, and it's just getting ignored at the moment. But it is an inconvenience at best, and at worst, affecting people's daily lives. or making them bankrupt. But anyway, it's all out of our control. I think what we have to do is just keep plodding on. But I am looking forward to getting back to Spain, and I am looking forward to actually having some real time with the family. Because last time I was over, great time with the kids, great time with my wife, but because of the house stuff, it sort of keeps you focused on that instead of doing as much family stuff as you'd like. So I'm looking forward to maybe booking into a hotel or something if the world hasn't stopped turning by then. Maybe going somewhere else. I was thinking about Euro Disney, but I'm not sure at the minute. I'll have to have a think. But yeah, beyond that, everything's going well. I was watching a video earlier, by the way. Hang on, let me give him a bit of a plug. This seems like a fairly new channel. I have to go back on the videos till I find the name. No. He was over there. Right, hang on, we're nearly there. Because funny enough, they were talking about what the place in the sun doesn't tell you. I'm just trying to find the name because it should be in my feed now. Because they are right, they don't really talk, these place in the sun type videos. There's two things you're going to watch for. Is when were they recorded, because they're often out of sync. It's like most of these property ones. Yeah, it's Mike and Yvonne's channel. I didn't want to play anything on there. Yeah, so it's Mike and Yvonne's channel, Between the Lakes, which is, I know where they are. They're not far from us. They're the other side of the lake. But they have got some useful information, and they did bring up, like I said, about the truth about they don't tell you, and when people are buying a property, they forget to mention all the taxes, like the notary fees and stuff. They're compulsory. There is stuff the bank do that they add to the mortgage and stuff. It's compulsory, even though they're not doing anything for it, like €300 charges. But ultimately, you're locked in to these things, and that's more useful if they actually did even at a start, did a episode just on all the fees and how everything sort of works in the system. That'd be quite useful, because at least they cover that rather than saying, this house is only €160,000, and then missing the fact that all the fees, and then you've got the community charges and how the community charges can be quite excessive. The other side of community charges is you may find you're in an area where nobody pays them, which means the community areas are not maintained to the level they should be. And there's other issues that go on around when something's wrong, because they may actually come and say, can you give us €5,000 to assist with this? You've got to do your own homework and due diligence on that stuff to see if it is your problem or it's their problem, because some of this should actually be covered by the insurance anyway. But that all gets back to, has the insurance been paid? Because if nobody's paying it, that's how these sort of things can occur. It's just basic business. But the problem is a lot of people overlook this stuff and then get nice surprises. So when the tax has been up to date, you shouldn't actually inherit somebody else's bills, but it doesn't mean you won't. Just got to be very, very careful, and that's where somebody like Ginter is very, very useful. Ginter's been in, I think she's been in La Mata for over 13 years. I'm not sure if it's La Mata and Torrevieja, but it's definitely been in the area for since she was in her teens. She knows the area well. She knows the right people. She knows how to process everything. She understands it. She understands how to deal with the company. She understands how to deal with the lawyers, etc. So I've already asked her to do a YouTube video, which we'll do when I'm back in Spain. But she may be able to deal with not only the property stuff, but if you're having problems with suppliers and things, she may be able to even help with that. Because because I haven't really expanded out on other services that she may do. She actually works as a real estate agent, but she's very, very knowledgeable and very, very helpful. So, bit of promotion there. But yeah, between the lakes with Mike and Yvonne, that's another channel that's in the same area. I think they're up near San Luis, by the looks of it. Definitely worth having a look at their videos. Anyway guys, I'll leave you to it. Have a great day.